Good morning, Man United Agenda family. We have some breaking takeover news, so this will be a short stream, so stay with us. Good morning, everyone, and you're very welcome here to the Man United Agenda. I have some brief takeover news to bring to you that developed overnight. I do want to say hello to Ed Mayhem. How are you doing, buddy? Hope you are well. But the Telegraph has reported overnight that the Qatari bid, led by Sheikh Jassim, will be investing a total of £7 billion in Manchester United should they be successful in their takeover bid. This will include the purchase price of the club, development of a new stadium, men's and women's team funding, development of the academy, and an overhaul of the training ground. This is a quite significant level of investment that has been promised in Manchester United Football Club. A total of £7 billion reported overnight by the Telegraph as being the amount that the Qatari bid is willing to invest in the whole project. Also, it is being reported that the ENOS executives are expecting that their bid will be rejected, having come short. Of course, we do know that the deadline for bids is tonight at 9 p.m. British time. I want to say hello to Adla. How are you doing, buddy? And Bolt as well. Good morning to you as well, sir. But what I want to know is, what are your thoughts on the revelations today regards £7 billion? Ed, that is a very good question. And when I was looking at the detail of it, they had said in the outset that the debt would be cleared. So what I'm presuming is that's all encompassed in the actual purchase price, that they are packaging that together, that they're taking the debt as being part of the purchase. Colum, good morning to you as well. We do need to get those individuals out of the club, that is for sure. But quite significant levels of investment. Good morning as well, Ed. I hope you are going well. I think a lot of you are probably heading to work at the stage. But just to recap, £7 billion is what the Telegraph have reported last night and overnight as going to be the investment from the Qatar bid. New stadium, men's and women's team funding, academy, training ground, and of course the purchase price. And as you rightly pointed out, there was no mention of the debt, but I'm assuming that's been rolled into the purchase price. And the other breaking news is that the Sir Jim Ratcliffe-led ENOS bid, they are now apparently expecting to fall short and have their bid rejected in the second phase, which is to conclude today at 9 o'clock British time. Now, it is expected that it could take a week for investors to be told whether or not that they will have further bidding rounds or not. There was rumours that the Glazers were keen to spike up the price a bit further and have a third bidding round. But I'd imagine if the Qatari bid or any one of the other bids is sufficiently hitting the threshold, they may be tempted to take that offer. But that was really the main news that I had to bring to you this morning. I would like to get a few thoughts from you before I do sign off, because it is obviously a matter that concerns us all as Manchester United fans. Avda, you're saying it's hard to look away from what the Qataris bring to the table with Eric at the helm and the investment they bring. I couldn't want more. Still, the controversies are to consider. I suppose in terms of, as Manchester United fans, what we want ideally is we don't want Manchester United to be saddled by the debts of the Glazer family. And if we can succeed in ensuring that those debts are eradicated, Manchester United as a standalone entity is more than capable of developing sufficient push in its own reserves in order to be a major financial power. So if there is enough investment that United is brought back to being able to live off itself, we will be fine as a club. What is interesting is how we're going to go around fixing our fixed assets, because our stadium, as we know, has been absolutely left to rack and ruin by the Glazer family. We have seen fans posting videos of water coming down through the roof. We've seen the urinals spreading stuff all over the floor in the men's bathrooms of Old Trafford. We've seen that they've been covering over rust on the girdings with a bit of paint. There's a lot to be done at Old Trafford. And if reports are to be believed as well, the thing with the current training ground situation is that it is apparently very dated and belongs back in the 90s. But today is a make or break day for Manchester United Football Club. It is deadline day. And a bit like Cave, I'm watching my phone to see if there's anything juicy that I can bring to you. But Manchester United Football Club, in order to survive as a viable entity, needs the Glazer family out of the ownership. We cannot move forward under Ten Hag while these guys are basically sucking the lifeblood out of the football club. That is what their debt has done to the club. Column, if you look at the investment from top to bottom, it's what they're going to do in men's and women's and youth, then it's a no-brainer. Well, I would assume they're looking at it as a full football package column. They are looking for Manchester United to be the crown jewel in English football. Should they get the club into their hands. All they said was the economic situation in the world. I don't think Sir Jim's package is offering company. If the company starts to fail, then it affects our transfer strategies and plan. You see, that's exactly where I was looking at it. Even though the Glazer debt was going to be transferred into Enos, the thing is, should there be any issues, obviously Manchester United then under Enos would obviously be liable to bail them out. So there's certain problems, I'd imagine, in the bid makeup there as well. Michael, you do not have a problem with the Qataris. We have seen Blair, Iraq, Boris, the Met. How can we judge anyone else? That is exactly the point of view. We need to be very pragmatic with how we're looking at the situation here for Manchester United. There's currently a number of clubs that are in ownership by various Arabian organisations. The UK government is quite keen for Manchester United to seek the investment of the Qatari nation. They do own quite a number of mainstream businesses. So this would just be a continued commitment to some aspect of the football game as we know it. Now, the other side of things is that it is believed that other clubs would be opposed to Manchester United receiving such a level of investment because they think that it could make Manchester United an impossible foe to deal with. Now, what we have to remember is, with regards to the expenditure on wages, Manchester United would still remain limited in terms of what they can utilise in a wage space compared to the turnover that they generate. So Manchester United, as a standalone entity, would still have to generate sufficient economic and commercial activities to fund any big player purchases or any increase in wages. So the game doesn't change in that respect. Ed, if we start becoming successful again under the Qataris, I predict most will suddenly forget about their moral code. Obviously, there's certain things and certain issues that will always raise their head, Ed. And as football fans, number one, what we're looking out for is our club to be taken away from the entity that is destroying it, and that is the Glazer family. I know Miguel Delaney has made numerous points with regards to ownership of any club. He did it with Newcastle, he did it with Manchester City, and he'd probably do it with Liverpool or any other club that is taken interest by the ownership in that region. But I suppose when you look at matters, when you look at the football jersey makers, where did their jerseys come from? If you look at what happens in the United States, you could pick holes in quite possibly anything. And if you want to set the moral compass, where do you stop setting it? Where do you stop questioning the origin of things? So I suppose, again, it's a question of if you can accept certain aspects of life, then how can you flip flop into another aspect? But the main headline today, just to sum up, guys, there's 16 of you in the chat. Please do give us a like, share, and subscribe. And I just want your final thoughts. The figure that is being touted as being invested in Manchester United Football Club by the Telegraph overnight is £7 billion. This is to include the takeover, the overhaul of Old Trafford, the training facilities, the men's and women's squads, and it's quite a gargantuan figure. And there's actually even some conflicting reports going out there that it's 7 billion that they're looking to spend in the capital infrastructure plus the team infrastructure. So if that's the case, if you're to say that they're going to be bidding another 5 billion, that's over 10 billion pounds that they're going to be putting into this club to 12 billion pounds, which is absolutely gaga money, and there's absolutely nobody that can compete with that. But to the 18 chat, come on now, give us your final thoughts on what you think here. Column, 7 billion is way over the price of what Man United is worth, but I guess they are fed up with being messed around. Column, that includes the investment in the capital infrastructure. It's not just the money that apparently is going to the Glazermans. So it is a figure that is being touted as being the total package. However, there are now some conflicting reports saying that 7 billion after the money that is to be paid to the Glazers. Now, obviously, there is an element of shares that are being traded on the public stock exchanges. Those shares, it is unclear how the offers will be made to those entities as of yet, because obviously the Glazers are only negotiating for their portion of the club. There was a time when if you had a certain stakeholding in the company that you would have to make a compulsory purchase bid, but that threshold I don't think is met by just getting hold of the Glazer family's shares. I don't think it's ever been in doubt that we felt that the Glazers were taking us for a ride. An article I read yesterday, Ed, was saying that they're playing high stakes poker with the club and with Manchester United fans' emotions, because they are now looking at the situation that's developing in the Premier League with the level of money that's coming into the Premier League. And Joel and Avram Glazer do not want to leave Manchester United Football Club because they can feel that they can pocket more money in their lifetime, year on year, and absolutely drain Manchester United Football Club. Their preference is to take in investment from one of the hedge funds, pay them extortionate fees out of Manchester United Football Club for the money that they have put in to the club, i.e. to buy out their siblings, and basically drain United for years to come. However, it does seem now that the money on the table might finally persuade them to go. But it's been a very enjoyable and short morning update. As I said, the headlines were the Telegraph reporting £7 billion as being the quoted investment fee that the Qataris are willing to put into Manchester United Football Club. Please do let us know your thoughts in the comments. Give us a like, share, and subscribe. And of course, look out for the shows later this evening. And we may even have something after the 9 o'clock deadline. But one thing for sure, Manchester United family, it is a significant day in the history of Manchester United Football Club as we look towards that deadline for bids of Manchester United Football Club. Thank you and have a very good day.